Andrew Schweitzer. I was going through my comic collection and saw that you had written an issue of Batman Gotham Adventures, the tie-in comic to the Batman animated series that was on at the time. How did you manage to get this gig? Were there any differences in the way that you would normally write a standard Batman comic, and why didn't you do more? Well, I didn't do more because I was really busy. I was writing 4 monthly titles at DC, plus graphic novels and specials and annuals and inventory issues and all the rest. And how I got the gig was the editors always asked me if I wanted to write any of these. You know, if you have any ideas, if you have this and the Superman book, animated book, which I never did write one of them. So they, you know, and these were all one and done stories, but I never came up with any that I couldn't also use in my regular Batman, you know, DC Comics canon books. And I thought, well, let me think of one that I could only tell through, that would only happen in the animated universe. And at the time, Harley and Poison Ivy in the animated universe were gal pals. In the regular comics, I don't know if they had ever even met. And I'd never written Harley before. And then the added attraction was they said that Joe Staton will draw it. Well, okay, you had me at Joe Staton. So I came up with a story that could only happen in the animated universe. And I think it's the only time I wrote Harley. Now, I'm going to get a million comments going, no, you wrote Harley 6 other times. Okay, I've written a lot of comics. I can't remember them all. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was fun, and working with Joe was fun. I always love working with Joe. Joe's one of the first comic book pros that I spent a lot of time talking to when I was a fan. He likes talking to fans, and amiable guy with a wealth of comic book knowledge. I would, you know, if I ever saw him at a con, I would stop by and spend some time talking to him. And of course, once I got into the business, one of my personal goals was to work with Joe as often as possible. And you know, I either recommended him a lot of times we worked together, or I readily agreed to do projects that he was already attached to, because it's Joe. Love working with Joe. Longtime fan. Now, my only other contribution to the Batman animated comics was a pinup for one of the annuals. Here, this is my pencils, inked by Rick Burchett, who fixed all of my perspective, and obviously did a marvelous job spotting blacks and doing all those amazing things that the Jedi Masters, who are comic book inkers, do to make the artwork better. And Rick Taylor, the wonderful Rick Taylor on color, and you know, it's the only example published example you'll find of me drawing anything related to Batman.